The Mixed Mornings and More podcast with Steph and Shawn.
Now available daily.
Good morning, world.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. We are on the month of May. It is the 3rd. It's 2022 and 5:35, Steph.
Oh, we are so late.
Maybe I was out walking yesterday and I was on a new trail that I haven't been on before. And as I was going down this, it was a grid, kind of like a dirt trail.
Okay.
And it was just behind some houses. So it was like one that was other people were walking on. And I approached this spot and there was just like forest by me as well. And then there was a bench. Now, usually benches, they're either facing like an open viewpoint that you can look out to.
Yeah.
Or it's just like facing the trail for you to like take a quick stop and like sit, right?
Yeah.
This bench just stood out to me because it wasn't sponsored or anything. It was just a bench. It's like they had an excess of benches and it was like 2 feet away from the forest. You were just looking at bush.
That's interesting.
And it wasn't facing the trail. And I just thought it was interesting.
So was the other option, though, for it to face houses if it wasn't facing the trail?
Yeah, I feel like as I've gone on plenty of other trails here in Fort McMurray, the benches are just like facing the trail. But this one, it was turned around and you were just like a foot away from the bush.
Okay, here's a question.
Okay.
Did the bench look like it had been there a while? Like, could it perhaps have been looking out at a view 10 years ago and then it's just overgrown?
It looked pretty new.
Oh.
No paint was chipped off unless they repainted it or anything like that. But it just looked weird.
I wonder maybe
I sat down on it, I'll tell you that much. Because I wanted to get the viewpoint. I was like, what am I looking at here? I was like, nothing. Okay.
Maybe somebody installed it wrong. Maybe they just nobody's going back and checking their work. It was a summer student and they just laugh about it now. They're like, haha, remember when I put that bench in the wrong spot? Still never got in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Got a couple options for you, Shawn.
Okay.
You go to a dinner party and there aren't enough chairs, so they've kind of pulled chairs from wherever else in their house.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Yes. One of the chairs is a piano bench with no back and it's lower than the rest of the chairs.
Yeah.
The other chair is a bar stool, has a back, but you're way higher than the table and everybody else sitting around it. Which would you rather?
Yeah, okay. I think I'm going to go with my feet on the ground with the piano bench.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think the bar stool, just like being up there and just having your feet on whatever footrest the unstable bar stool has. I think that's enough for me to just want to have my feet on the ground. That's just my personal preference.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm going to I'd rather have the bar stool.
Really?
But mainly because I feel like I get on the piano bench and then you end up sitting around the table. Oh yeah, let's wait on dessert. Let's have a card game or something. And you're there for hours at this table without a backrest. And I find myself just like using my elbows to like slouch onto my knees because the table is my chin height. And it just isn't a great time.
Yeah. I would take this as a perfect opportunity to work on my posture and be all fancy and standing up straight or sitting up straight. And I always say I'm going to work on it, but this would like force it here.
But I feel like, when you start to work on your posture can only handle that for so long and then it needs a break because it's not been working on it for the last 20 years.
Okay.
Like you can sit straight as if you're going to play the piano on a bench properly for a half hour of practice time. But then, I don't know. Either way, I kind of think, instead of bringing a bottle of wine to say thank you for having me, perhaps I should bring a chair.
I've lived on and off in Alberta, different stops, for about over 3 years, Steph. And one thing I know for certain, Alberta loves a good 50-50.
Oh, yeah. We are the 50-50 province.
I think so. I really do believe in that. Do you remember during the pandemic when the NHL playoffs were going on, these 50-50s were going viral here because we were holding the bubble for every team?
Yes. So many millions of dollars, right?
Every day, the 50-50 would rise above like 2 million, I swear. It was wild. Well, it started up again. Playoffs, NHL. The Oilers are just doing their own. So it's not for all the teams this time, right?
Okay.
It's just for the Oilers. And they've been running a big one to get it started. So it started on April 29th. And the winner gets announced tomorrow. So in between that timeline is when the 50-50 is growing.
Okay.
It's over $3 million right now.
Winner takes half?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, and remember when we were talking about the little kid Ben,
Yes.
who was going through that cancer treatment and everything, and he's like the good luck charm for the Oilers?
Yeah.
I believe half the 50-50 is going towards his type of cancer and everything. So it's just like heartwarming all in of itself.
Yeah, it's a good cause either way. Somebody's getting rich and you're helping them, and you're also helping cancer research. Amazing.
Yeah, and the ticket distribution I found when I went to go buy my ticket last night is hilarious, I think, too. So one ticket for $5.
Yep.
Cool. Very affordable. Very reasonable. The next up, 10 for $10. Okay, so
Wow, yeah.
1 for 1 right there. The next up, 80 tickets for $25. So good deal right there. But then there's this one, 250 tickets for $50.
They know how to get your money.
That is hilariously amazing.
It's like, of course, I'm not going to buy one ticket for $5 when I can buy 250 for $50.
Exactly. It's so easy to get sucked into the $50 one.
What is that? A quarter a ticket? Amazing.
Yeah. Over $3 million. It makes sense now.
So check back with us tomorrow. They're doing the draw.
Yeah, if I'm not on the show, I won the 50-50 tomorrow.
We've got Logan on the line because we've got some good news for him. Logan, how are ya?
Good, how are you?
We're doing pretty good, Logan. Hey, we got some awesome news for you. We've been running this contest all throughout the year. It's called the Community Champion of the Month, and it's for the sports world. And we were taking nominations, and you were one of our lucky nominations. So we crowned one winner a month, and we just want to say what you do with your volunteering work doesn't go unnoticed. And we just want to congratulate you for doing awesome work out there with a $50 gift card to Northern Life by DWW and a $200 Visa gift card.
Wow, thanks so much.
You're welcome. Here, I just want to read you a couple of your nominations because they're just so kind and it makes you sound so wonderful. So Melanie said that you are a grade 9 student, volunteer your time as a junior coach with the Coldwell Banker Inclusive Royals. You've volunteered for the last 3 years and that you go above and beyond to encourage kids with exceptionalities to push past their fears and support them in every way possible. That you've learned to communicate with verbal and nonverbal kids and you've developed a special bond with them all. And that you're so kind, patient, empathetic, wise beyond your years. You attend every practice with a smile on your face. You jump right in, help on and off the ice, and you bring so much joy to the kids. And they are just so blessed to have you and so thankful that you keep coming out every week.
Wow.
That's just the one of many nominations that we received as well, Logan. So your hard work, your hours that you put into this don't go unnoticed, and you're doing amazing things in this community.
Thank you guys so much. This means a lot to me.
You are so welcome.
Our Wood Buffalo Sports Connection Community Champion of the Month is a year-long contest with one winner per month. So if you want to nominate someone in the community, you can head on over to our website.
I consider TLC to be a channel that I just can't tear my eyes away from.
It's always full of interesting topics.
Yeah, like hoarding, buried alive. Like whenever I'm like, I should purge my house, that's what I put on to really help me. Like, I could turn into this hoarder if I don't start getting rid of stuff. Or like,
yeah, a little motivation.
Yeah. And then there's lots of other shows on there. I'm currently in like a binge cycle of 90 Day Fiancé because they have so many spinoffs now.
Yeah.
90 Day Fiancé the other way, before the 90 days, after the 90 days.
It is amazing how deep that catalog goes.
It's true. It's true. But last night, while I was watching all of these crazy couples on this show, and my husband and I were both like, wow, they really pulled out all the stops for season 5. When they met these people, they were like, yes, please, let's sign you up. So I was like, how do you get on these shows?
Yeah, the casting calls.
I looked it up. They are pretty interesting what kind of people they're looking for.
Well, you sent this along to me. There's a whole list of shows that they were seeking for casting calls. 90 Day Fiancé is on there. It sounds like the description of how they want people to come on is basically, are you looking to bring someone over on a K-1 visa? We want to hear your story.
Yeah, and then they'll like go with the crazy from there. But then they have all of these, like, are you going to be a young grandmother? Is your child 14 and pregnant? We want to follow your story. And you're like, wow, okay.
Yeah. the concept of just casting for these shows You're like toting the line a little bit of like, is this appropriate? Is it inappropriate? I don't know. Just throw it out there.
Yeah, is this the Bearded Lady Circus? Like, they have the Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yes.
And it's like, do you have a rash, psoriasis, undiagnosed skin condition? Is someone you love suffering from a cyst?
Yeah.
Maybe we can help. And you're like, oh my gosh, and put it on television for everyone to see my most private things.
My favorite one, I don't know if this has made it to television yet or not, but it's You, Me, and My Ex that they were trying to cast for. And it's basically, do you have a current girlfriend or boyfriend or partner? And are you extremely close with your ex? We want to televise your relationship and your friendship. It's like, who's agreeing to this?
Yeah, which person, like the person who is dating this ex-couple.
Yeah.
Who's going to agree to be like, yeah, I'll go on television and say I'm uncomfortable with this?
Maybe it's like, hey, we're about to break up anyway, so let's all make a quick buck and then we can break up afterwards.
I do wonder, what do they pay? Like $5,000? Is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Came across reason 2,403 to not have kids for myself.
Wow.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, we're up to that high. Last night, I have a group chat going on with like my two older brothers. I have two. Yeah, I said that already. I have two, a middle and an older one because I'm the youngest.
Because you're the youngest, yep. Happy Tuesday.
And my middle brother, Chad, he lives in the Greater Toronto area. And he texts the group chat and he was like, wow, I just got offered playoff tickets for the Leafs first game of the playoffs. Had to turn them down, though, because I was already driving home. And baby that they just had 2 or 3 months ago got their first vaccination shot. So I need to go home and be with the baby because his wife is at home right now and he wants to relieve her.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, you turned out free playoff tickets to go to the Leafs game? He was like, yeah, hopefully I can get them for like game 2, but I'm going to go home and be with the child. And then my other brother, Jason, he's the oldest, he's in the group chat as well. Meanwhile, I don't ask about the baby at all. I'm more concerned about the playoff tickets that he turned down.
Typical sports nut.
Jason has 3 kids, and so he was like, oh, how's the baby doing after her shots? I was like, oh, that didn't even come to mind for me. I was like, how did you turn down playoff tickets?
And the Leafs were playing too, your favorite team.
Yeah, like Chad, my middle brother, absolutely loves it. Well, I thought he loved the Leafs, but maybe not.
I mean, I feel like everybody else would say I thought he loved his child, but maybe not if he had gone to the Leafs game on vaccination day.
Right. Yeah, see, this is where I just go completely opposite direction. I'm like, oh, that's another reason to mark down not to have kids. If you get offered free playoff tickets, you got to go care for the child instead.
One of my favorite celebrity nights to watch celebrities happened yesterday.
Oh, yeah, the Met Gala was going on, right?
Yeah, it's just so fun. They walk up those big steps in dresses that you're like, you can't walk in that. That is just a crazy outfit. And you just kind of get to see like what people have dreamed up to put on these celebrities' bodies. It's crazy.
I was so curious about it. Every time the Met Gala passes by, I'm like, what is that? Anyways, back to sports. But I started looking into the history of it because I'm like, hey, what actually is it? I have time now. It used to be called the Costume Institute Gala. And basically it sounds like it used to be a costume contest of like who could like kind of outlandishly dress a little different. That was like back in like the 1940s, 50s, 60s a little bit. But then over time, it started gaining popularity with like public figures, celebrities, politicians, business world, etc. And then so it grew to be a Met Gala or a Met Ball of sorts. And it used to cost $50 to go, but now it costs over $30,000 to go, somewhere in that range. Mm-hmm. And it raises money just for the museum where it's held in, the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So it's a fundraising gala for the museum itself.
Very interesting, because I've always said this too. It's like the celebrities' Halloween. It's their own special costume party. But with over $30,000 a ticket and a secret as to what happens once they get up those steps and go inside. They don't allow phones in there. The celebrities are not allowed to take pictures. And like basically lately there's been a couple photos snuck from like bathroom selfies.
Oh, yeah.
But nothing else. It's like, are you asking the celebrities for more money once they're inside, or did their $30,000 plus ticket allow them just to enjoy an evening fundraiser that they already paid for as their entrance?
Oh, so interesting. Just, stroking their own egos inside. Like, are they actually, I wonder if they're having like a fundraiser of like selling art pieces, or if they're doing like Illuminati stuff in there.
Perhaps. Or maybe they're just like, all right, guys, we got you all in here, and now you can be normal because we promise there's no cameras or reporters are allowed, and they all just take off their costumes and put sweatpants on and watch movies together.
No, I don't like that one. Let's go with the other ones. NHL playoffs started last night. Steph, you gave some predictions at the end of our show yesterday. You hit 50% on them.
Okay, so the Bruins, how'd they do?
Bruins lost. They lost 5-1.
Oh, man.
Maple Leafs won, though.
Hey, you were really, really razzing me about that. And I insisted they were a good team.
I know. It's just I have a group of friends that I'm in a group chat with back home in Regina, and like 3 of them are just obnoxious Leaf fans. And so now I just associate every Leaf fan with my 3 friends back home.
Okay. Sorry, I'm being so obnoxious.
Yeah, they dominated, though, 5-0.
All right. Go my prediction. All right.
And then you picked the Blues as well. They won 4-0.
Okay, so that means that the Goilers lost.
Yeah.
Oh.
Goilers lost 4-3 against the Kings. What the heck?
That was like the main one I cared about. All right.
But the best thing about the NHL right here, and they do this so well compared to some other sports, and usually the NHL doesn't do a lot well. Like, it usually is just poorly planned and scheduled and everything. But for the playoffs here, they stagger every game's like kind of 30 minutes apart. So like when one goes to like intermission during the periods, another one's starting up.
Oh.
So like you don't have any wasted time. You don't have to like watch commercials the only bad part is I didn't eat until like 8:30 last night because the game started at 5.
Yeah.
And then there was just constantly a game going on. So I was just like sitting there, and all of a sudden I look over, I'm just like, I haven't ate yet, and it's almost bedtime.
Okay, so how many screens did you have going yesterday, or were you just flipping the channels back and forth?
I had 2. I had 2 on my phone, just kind of casually checking like the Twitter and score updates and everything.
Wow.
So I think at the most only 3 games were going at once, but that was like very little.
And is this going to be an everyday thing now that you're going to be watching the playoffs? Or was that like last night was like, I got to watch opening night?
You're just so innocent over there. Is it going to be an everyday? Yeah, it's going to be an everyday thing. It's the playoffs.
Sorry, how long do they last?
Forever.
When do I get my friend back?
Never.
Want more of today's show?
Download the Mixed Mornings and More podcast.
Now available every weekday.